Hello everyone. So now we are starting again, and in this part we will introduce again the risk management. Okay. So first of all we will again come up with risk. Clear? Now we'll talk mostly in terms of market. Okay. What really we do. Okay. Earlier I have given you the example just to make you like connect with what we are trying to do, but now we will directly move into our concepts. So we are going to study about the risk, and we are going to compare the risk management, means RM is your risk management, and we are going to compare risk management and risk taking. So first of all we will understand the risk. Now if I will say the word risk, what is the meaning of this term? Okay, in when you are investing, suppose when you are investing, say you are purchasing 100 shares of Reliance Industry at the rate 700. Okay, now what is the risk? Risk is that the price of the shares will decrease from 700. This is the risk to you. So means you know that how much it will fall, you don't know, means this is something which is uncertain. Okay, and which you don't know, which can happen and which cannot, means you may be or may not be, or may not be. But what will happen if it will happen? What will happen if the share price will fall down? There is a risk. So what is risk? It is basically an uncertainty of the outcomes. Means the price of the shares can move from 700 to 800, as well as it can move from 700 to 500 as well. So can I say the risk is about the uncertainty? Means this is also a risk and this is also a risk. Why? Because even this amount is also uncertain, as well as this amount is also uncertain. Means how we are quantifying our risk? We are saying everything which is uncertain, okay, which we don't know, okay, what will happen, that is a risk. Clear? So sir, how can you say that this is a risk? So even 800 is also unexpected, na? We cannot surely say that share price will reach 800, but yes, when it will reach, I'll be very surprised. Okay, so I am quantifying my risk in terms of being surprised with full of happiness. Okay, because this is an unexpected investment gain. Okay, what term I use? Unexpected. Why unexpected? Because that it will reach 800, I was not sure. Means what is going to be the future price of my Reliance Industries. So now what is this 800 means? What this 100 rupees gap is your gain, is your investment gain, because you have invested your money and it is unexpected. So what word I have used? Unexpected investment gain. But what I will use here for 200 loss? I will use that it is my unexpected investment loss. Unexpected investment loss. So this is a gain for you and this is a loss for you. Clear? Next, if you will see risk, and here is return. So it has been said that the higher the risk you will take, higher the return you will be getting. Means what? Suppose there are 3 stocks, A, B and C. Clear? If these all 3 are of 100 rupees, these 3 shares are of 100 rupees, A is least risky, B is in medium risk, and C is very risky. Try to understand. Okay, now what can be the possible outcome if this is the least risky? It can move 105 or it can give you the loss of 95. This is the least risky. Now what about the investment B? It can give you the return of 112. It can give you the return of 112, but also it can move downwards to say 88. So this is of medium risk. Now what about the very risky? It can give you the return of 135 and it can fall till 50. Clear? Or rather, if I use 65, now you can compare it well. Now see, if you invest your money the maximum amount which you can earn is 5 and the maximum loss which you can have is 5. Okay, rather than using minus 5, if I am quantifying this as profit 5 and this as loss 5, so I don't have to use the minus sign. Clear? So here I can have the 5 profit or I can have the 5 loss, but I told that no, I want to earn more. So here I am earning 12, here I am earning 12, but with the chance of losing the 12, means my probability that amount of earning, means the amount of gain here is 12, but also with the increase in gain there is an unexpected increase in loss also. But what if I said no, I am not satisfying in just earning 12 rupees, I want 35, I want 35. So if you invest in this stock is very risky, it can move down till 65, means there can be the loss of 35 as well, there can be the loss of 35. Means what? If you are taking low risk, low return. If you are taking medium risk, medium return. If you are taking high risk, you have high return. So this is the trade-off between risk and return. Now it completely dependent on you that how much risk you can bear. Okay, means how much is your risk appetite. This is the perfect word here. What is your risk appetite? If you feel that okay, I can take the risk of 35 rupees, then this is good for you, because if 35 you will lose, there are chances, so there are also the chances that you will earn 35. Clear? But in this case, if you are taking the risk of 5, the amount which you can earn maximum is only 5. So this type of investment suits to those people, those who are very risk averse. What word I am using? Risk averse, means they can't take huge amount of risk. But those who are very risky, they can go with this part. Clear? Now, one of the most important thing about risk is what? Suppose there is some amount of risk which you can quantify. Means what? Suppose if I am investing or if I am giving 10,000 rupees, okay, and I am giving 1,000 rupees to each of the people, okay, or say 2,000 rupees. Better I will give 2,000 rupees to this 5 clients. Now after 1 year they are going to repay me back, and I will be charging some amount of interest from them. Clear? Now from the past and the historical data, it has been found out that 1 out of 5 will default. Means out of these 5 people, at the time of the payment they are going to default, they are not going to repay me the money. Means from the 4 people I will be getting 8,000, but from the 5th people I may not be getting the full 2,000. Suppose he paid only 1,500, so there is a loss of 500 plus there is a loss of interest from him. So now I have invested how much? I have invested 10,000. How much I have received? 9,500. Now understand, when I have invested 10,000, I invested with the aim of earning 10%. That means I want 11,000 at the end. But now how much I am getting? I am getting only 9,500. What is the amount which is short? The amount which is short is 1,500. Okay, now these 1,500 can be recovered only from these 4 people. So how much one person will pay me? This is the amount. So one person is paying me 375 in the form of interest. Okay, so what is the amount of interest that I will be charging from them? That is 375, and if I want to tell in terms of percentage, it is 18.75. How I got this percent? How much they are paying me as the interest and how much they have received from me? 2,000. So what is the amount of interest I am charging? I am charging 18.75% interest. Now see the calculation. There are 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I know that if I am giving 2000 to 5, he will be paying me only 1500, but all the 4 they are repaying me these 2000 back, okay, what I have given to them, and I am charging the interest of 18.75% on them. So these 4 people are giving me the interest. So what is the amount of 18.75% of this 2000? It will be 375. Clear? Now what is the total amount I will receive from all these 5 people? See, this part is giving me 9500 and the interest part is giving me the value of 1500. So total how much I earned? 11,000. How much I have invested? 10,000. Clear cut, you can see there is a profit of 1000 which I have expected in the beginning. So there are some risk of which we are aware of, something like this. So we try to incorporate this risk in the percentage of interest which we are charging. Clear? So if you know that there are few losses which are predictable, you account them in your risk management technique. This is one of the risk management technique and you accounted it. So now there is no loss for you. There is no loss for you given there is a one person who defaulted on their payments. Clear? So now this is something which I can say is my expected loss, means this is the loss which I have expected. This is the amount of loss which I have expected. So when something I can expect, I can quantify them and I can try to eliminate that risk. But now suppose something uncertain will happen, my client number 3 defaulted, okay, which I was not expecting, but he defaulted. So this is my unexpected loss. So when you are doing your risk management, so you are following particular activities, okay, and these activities are aiming towards either you can reduce your risk or you can eliminate your risk. Either you can reduce your risk or eliminate your risk. Now what are those risks? These are my expected loss. These are my expected loss. Clear? So we have managed our expected loss. Now what about the unexpected loss? Okay, means something which can happen unexpectedly, okay, just like the corona, okay, no one was expecting about this and it happened, okay, so we are not prepared for it, that's why we have to suffer the lots of problem. So now we have to be prepared for our unexpected losses. Means what can be your unexpected losses? You need to prepare yourself. You need to keep enough reserves in your fund so that if some unexpected losses will occur, your reserves will meet those unexpected losses, and this will not create a question mark on the sustainability of the organization. Clear? And now when you are trying to manage your expected loss as well as your unexpected loss, I can say that you are very defensive. But yes, the more you are defensive, the more the chance of your sustainability will increase. Okay, the more you are protected, the more you will survive. Clear? So we have to manage our both the expected risk as well as the unexpected risk. Clear? So when I am saying the risk management, in order to have your risk management, first of all you need to know that how much risk you can take. Okay, how much is the capability of your organization to adapt to that risk. Suppose I am taking only the small position, so the losses will also be small. But if you are taking the large position, the losses will also large. So we need to make sure that how much risk we can able to manage, and on the basis of risk I will set my return targets. On the basis of risk I will set my return targets, as well as the return targets are also uncertain, because this is completely all about risk. Means how much you will earn, you don't know. How much you will lose, you don't know. Everything is uncertain. Clear? Now, when I am saying risk taking, okay, so risk taking is very active. Managing this risk is a defensive technique, but when you are taking the risk, we can say that you are very active player. Okay, it means what? I am ready to take the incremental risk. What is this word incremental risk? Means incremental risk. If I am adding 1% of the risk in my portfolio, I am getting additional 3% of the return. Means what? Suppose, so I am just giving you an example. My current level of risk is 7% and my current level of return based on this risk is say 12%. Clear? Now, I thought to add 1% more risk. I thought to increment my risk. Now, my risk is 8%, but this 1% gave me the additional 3% of return. So this is my incremental risk which I have taken, and this is my incremental return because of this incremental risk. So this part is very active. This part is very active. Clear? So when you will be very active, when the opportunities are knocking your door, so risk taking is an opportunistic action. Means sometimes we say, okay, I'll take this opportunity if the opportunity is knocking at the door. Means suppose the Reliance Industries shares during the corona came to 700. Okay, now I see that there is a huge opportunity to invest in that share, even though it's the situation of corona. I am investing this. I am investing in this share because I know the share is going to rise. But yes, given the pandemic, the share can also fall, but this is an opportunity for me where I am taking some additional amount of risk in the market. Clear? Now give the heading of risk management process. Now what is the process to manage this particular risk? Now our risk management process is really a broad term. Okay, there are lots of steps and lots of processes are there. Okay, so there are two important things which I want to explain you. First, suppose if you are taking 7% of the risk and it is giving you 10% of the return. Suppose you are taking 7% of the risk and it is giving you 10% of the return. Now what is this? What is the meaning of this? Suppose I am investing 100 now. Okay, in future it can give me an expected gain, unexpected gain of 10, or it can give me an unexpected loss of 7%. Means at the end I will receive 93. So first of all I need to see that the reward of 10 and risk of 7, are they justified? Means are they really justified? If I will look for some other asset, suppose this is the asset A and there is another asset B and it is offering me 10% return just by taking the 3% of the risk. So now do you really think that the investment in this part is really justified? If you feel so, then you can invest, otherwise don't. First of all, find out whether the return you are getting per unit of risk is justifiable or not. Clear? For 7% I am getting the return of 10%. So can I say for 1% risk how much return I am getting? It is 10 by 7 and it will be approximately to 1.42% of return for 1% of risk. So is it justified or not? If it is not, then try to look for some other assets which are providing you the same amount of return at the lesser amount of risk. Means my risk is reduced, but I am earning the same amount of return just by switching from asset A to asset B. So these all are the process involved in our risk management. So Risk management will say you, first of all, identify the risk. Means, what is the risk? Identify it. Then it says, okay, if you able to identify the risk, then try to measure the risk, quantify the risk in terms of percentage or numbers, that how much is the risk. And after you know that there is, okay, there is a risk of $700, now try to manage your risk in such a way that you can either reduce or eliminate this $700 risk. And now try to bifurcate that what kind of risk you have, what is the amount of expected risk you have, and what is the amount of unexpected risk you have. Because the unexpected risk you can account in the return which you will take, but you cannot account your unexpected loss in the return which you will take from your customers. Clear? Now you need to address the relationship among the risk. I have earlier told you that there are different kinds of risk. There is a credit risk, there is a market risk, there is a liquidity risk, there is a operational risk. So try to create a relationship among these different kinds of risk. Clear? Point number 5 is you have to develop a strategy. Okay, that particular strategy will help you to mitigate your risk. Clear? And the last point is the 6th number. After creating a strategy, you have to monitor the strategy, and if there are some adjustment needed, then you have to make the required adjustments. So first of all, if we'll see that we need to identify our risk. Okay, like what is the risk? So how we will get to know the what is the risk? So in order to know our risk, we can talk to the leaders of the market, means those who have the great idea about the market, and we can talk to them and we can have an idea from them, like what is the current perspective of their prospect about the market in the future term. From there we will get some hint about the market and what are the possible risks in the future. Now apart from that, we can have some analysis. Okay, something like scenario analysis. What we will do in scenario analysis, we will create a model. In that model we will have some input details. Okay, just like GDP, interest rates, inflations, unemployment rate, okay, any recession, oil prices, gold prices, all the datas are the input. And after taking all the input, it provides me some idea about the market risk. Now I will take certain scenarios. Means suppose current interest rate is now at 7%, but now I try to create a scenario where the interest rate will reach 2%. Then I will see what will happen about the market risk. Or if I'll see if the oil price will shoots up, what will happen to the market risk. Means I will create different scenarios so that I can identify the market risk. Clear? Now see, how can we classify our risk? First of all, the risk which is easy to quantify is our expected loss. Okay, what can be the expected loss? Clear? Next we have unexpected loss. Now when I am saying about the expected loss, okay, so this is kind of a loss which is known to me. Okay, this is a kind of loss which is known to me and I know this loss. So if I know this loss, I am not worried about this loss. But yes, I am worried about my unexpected loss. I am worried about my unexpected loss because this is unknown. This is unknown. Because I don't know what can happen. Because I don't know what can happen in the future. But inside this unknown, there can be few things which are known. Means if I will take my example, my example is that I am crossing from A and I have to reach to the B point. There can be landslides, okay, there can be flood, okay, no availability of water, might be wildlife attack, might be the cyclone can attack. Okay, so these are the possible uncertainty that can happen. These are the possible unexpected loss that can happen. So I know what are the different kinds of known unknown. What are the different kinds of known unknown? But when I'll say about corona, okay, when I'll say about corona, this is something which is unknown, means this is also an unexpected loss, but this unexpected loss was unknown to me. 1 year before, I was unaware about this kind of unexpected loss, because these are the things which we have heard previously. So we know, okay, this kind of unexpected loss can happen, but they might happen, I am not sure. The probability of these instance is very low, but this is something which we are not even aware of, something which is unknown to me. So I call it as unknown, means it is a kind of loss which is not at all known to me. So this is my first risk which I quantify, this is my second risk which I quantify, and this is my third risk which I quantify. First of all, I will quantify my expected loss, the non-loss, and then I will quantify my unexpected loss, then unknown, known, and at the last my unknown. Clear? Now there are few things, okay, 4 decisions which I can take when I am managing my risk. Okay, so let me give you the same example so that you can relate it. You want to move from A to B, okay, you want to move A to B, but you know there are many risks. So what are the 4 things you can do? First, you will not go, okay, you said that I don't want to go, okay, because if A will reach here, he is going to get 1000 rupees, but A said that I am not going to take this risk to take this 1000 rupees, so I forgo the reward. So what he did, he avoided to take the risk. Clear? Next, he thought that okay, I will take the risk. He thought that okay, I will take the risk, means I decided to retain the risk because I need this return of 1000 rupees. Clear? Now there can be 2 options when you are taking the risk, okay, there can be 2 options when you are taking the risk, means you want this 1000 rupees, okay, so you can either mitigate your risk or you can transfer your risk. Now what is mitigating the risk? Suppose by reaching to point B you will get 1000 rupees, you hired an aircraft and you went without walking through the aircraft, and aircraft will charge you say 560, okay, so how much you earn? 440, means after you mitigate the risk by involving some amount of cost, you able to earn something. So this is the risk mitigating, you try to mitigate the risk by taking some actions. The next is the risk transfer, means A said that okay, I won't go, I will send Mr. Ram and I will give him 200, and he is ready to take the risk, and when he will go there, I will get 1000, out of these 1000 I will pay him 200, remaining 800 will be mine. So this is risk transfer. So there are 4 things. A will deny, I am not at all going to take the risk. A thought okay, let's take the risk, but either I can mitigate the risk or transfer the risk by keeping the lower return. I am happy. So these are the 4 decisions which I can take. So this is the whole idea about the identification of the risk. Clear? Okay, so I end this lecture here. The remaining part of the lecture I will be coming in next lecture. Okay, thank you.